Welcome back. You're watching Morning Live on SABC2. Thank you for staying with us. Now it's time for our art bulletin. Here's Tumi Sedumedi.
A warm welcome to the Art Bulletin from the Wits Art Museum in Braamfontein, Johannesburg. Photographers from all over the continent have converged at the Coca-Cola Dome for this year's Photo and Film Expo. It's billed as Africa's largest photographic show with over 100 workshops and demonstrations.
We've got about 20,000 photographers that come through from all over the country, all over Africa in fact, as well as delegates from around the world. We cater to all photographers, from amateurs right up to full-time professionals. I think this year we're sitting on over 120 workshops. So they come through to learn. They come through for the amazing specials on the gear. And they come through to see the latest technologies and what's available.
It explores the genres of screen dance, dance for film, and work specifically made for the camera. That's the Revisioning Dance Festival, which was held at the Wits Dancers Theatre.
The reason we're interested in looking at the camera and dance is because I think it's a relatively untapped area of research in South Africa. There are people who are testing the boundaries, how we can see the body or the moving body in different ways and in different spaces. And this allows for a multitude of opportunities that the live performing body cannot do, or can take us to places that would not otherwise be possible. So the opportunity for site-specific work is presented to us, as well as the idea of collaborating in an interdisciplinary way.
Human life-size paintings have been posted in and around the city as part of a build-up to a solar exhibition by Faith. These pictures depict miners, workers and community members waiting for delivery of some sort or another.
Fragments of Band History is an exhibition opening on the 8th of November at the David Kroot Project on Jan Smuts Avenue in Johannesburg. The theme for this showcase is people of different corners in society waiting for something to be done for them, be it service delivery, salary increase or job creation. This is according to the artist Faith. Her works have been put up in areas like Soweto, Newtown, Maboneng Precinct just outside of Joburg City Centre, Parktown, Yeoville and many others.
The Dramatic, Artistic and Literary Rights Organization has secured the rights to the works of acclaimed visual artists Cecil Scottness and Maria Lopsha. This is in addition to the rights it already has to the works of Emma Stone.
We recently received mandates from the estates of these late artists, and it's a significant addition to the repertoire that Dalro represents in the visual arts sector. As you know, Dalro we also deal with rights for book authors as well as playwrights, but we've only in the last sort of year focused on visual arts and looking to collectively represent visual arts for reproduction rights. So it's a very big development for Dalro because these are very significant rights, and together with other rights that we already have, Irma Stern, Tommy Mutswai, Jane Alexander, it's a very significant addition to our repertoire.
Miss Julie by playwright August Strindberg will see Swedish actress Anna Pettersson perform 8 shows only at the Market Theatre after receiving great reviews in Sweden for the play's performance.
This production of Miss Julie marks the centenary of Sweden's playwright August Strindberg's work. Anna Pettersson plays all 3 characters in this play and will be seen with a cameraman on stage, with footage being projected onto a backdrop, along with other pre-recorded and pre-edited material. The play's themes of class tension, gender roles, power and the impact of social environment are then highlighted on stage.
Xhosa-speaking Jewish comedian Nick Rabinovitz and Breakthrough Comic of the Year Tats Nkonzo are set to wow fans in Jozi and the Mother City later this month. Stand and Deliver will take place at the Cape Town International Convention Center and the Lyric Theatre in Johannesburg.
Nick and me, man, you know, first I was his opening act, but we've grown in our relationship. I enjoy working with Nick. That's why I look forward to working with him a lot, because I enjoy working with him. You know, he teaches me backstage. Backstage is probably where I have the most fun, not on stage with his audience. It's backstage when we're talking, playing cricket in the corridors there at the theatres, getting shouted at by stage managers, and just learning.
Artist Bonita Alice's work generally focuses on land, geography, history and memory. Her latest exhibition titled Beasts in a Dangerous Landscape explores the duality of the physical and the abstract.
This is the second in a series of exhibitions and follows on her Beast at Home show in March 2010. It consists of drawings in dyed wool dust on paper, predominantly circular in format, that are often grouped together in a series of 6, 9, 12, 16 or 20, with each series representing an interdependent work. Her recent interests include the study of animal-human relations and related ideas in the context of environmental discourse, as well as in relation to her own art practice.
The Wits Art Museum is situated at one of the busiest corners in Braamfontein, with students and professionals dominating. The museum has the ability to host several exhibitions at the same time through its 3-story building.
The Wits Art Museum opened its doors to the public in April this year. The space uses a lot of glass and transparent material as a means of making itself accessible and open to everyone who walks or drives past it. Situated right next to the Witwatersrand University on the Braamfontein side, WAM stands out a bit with its different look from the university, yet blends in nicely because it took a long existing structure which is physically attached to the university. The museum boasts 3 different size exhibition spaces with a socialize and coffee shop space at the foyer, which acts as an entry for WAM.
From the Wits Art Museum in Braamfontein, Johannesburg, that's it for today's Art Bulletin. Do remember to keep those thoughts and suggestions coming. Our email address is morninglive@sabc.co.za. Our Facebook page is The Art Bulletin, and in brackets, Morning Live. That Twitter handle is @The Art Bulletin. Until next weekend, it's a goodbye from us.
Welcome back. You're watching Morning Live on SABC2. Thank you for staying with us. Here is Tumi Sedumedi with today's leading art news. Enjoy.
We're coming to you from the Constitutional Court in Braamfontein in Johannesburg. Welcome to the Art Bulletin. Drama for Life is currently in the process of setting up for their 5th DFL Africa Research Conference, which will take place next Friday and Saturday at the University of Pretoria. This year's gathering will focus on issues of conflict, violence and intolerance. Participants from other parts of the continent and the world will participate.
The Drama for Life Africa Research Conference was started in 2008. This is our 5th international conference this year. It was started because there was no other body, institution that was providing the space for a conference, a gathering of academics, artists, NGO workers, practitioners in the world of health, education, social welfare, who use the arts. There was no space for them to come together, to network, to talk about the kind of work that was being done. There was very little record of the research that was being done.
It's that time of the year when Standard Bank announces its Young Artist of the Year award winners. The award is bestowed on young artists who have shown exceptional ability in their chosen field but have not yet received national exposure.
The National Arts Festival Committee select winners in 5 different disciplines: theatre, music, dance, jazz and visual art, and from time to time film. Previous winners include music giant Sibongile Khumalo, who won it in 1994, and Tutupuane a decade later. Also on that list is fiery drama Kesiva Naidu. Theatre has seen winners such as Jenny Young, while Michael McGarry took the Visual Art Award in 2010. Vincent Manswe and Durbanite Mluzondi have been honoured in the dance category in 1995 and 2010 respectively. 2011 winners are Bokane Daya, Nandi Pamtambo, Ben Skuman, Mamela Nyamza and Neil Kopen, while Michael Sabatsky, Princess Mhlongo, Africa Mkhize, Gilebukhle Buiganyo and Bailey Sneeman walked away 2012 winners.
The Forgotten Angle Theatre Collaborative, under the leadership of choreographer PJ SAAJA, is putting a chunk of its National Lottery financial support into grooming and nurturing new talent. The dance organization is looking for 7 young dancers to fill full-time salaried internship positions.
The industry, obviously, because it's always been a constant struggle for funding, is in a desperate situation, and we are in need of formalizing and in need of kind of coming together. So when companies like ours, and there are a few others, have funding from lottery and from other sources, it means that we can start interacting, start talking to each other, start offering formal and informal training programs to develop the new voices of South African dance. The new talents, the people who will take the industry forward and build their capacity, not only as artists, but as administrators, as thinkers, as activists, so that they are able to take charge of their own future.
Mikhail Sabotsky's Retinal Shift will open at the Iziko SA National Gallery at the end of this month. The 2012 Standard Bank Young Artists for Visual Arts exhibition centers on a 4-channel film installation.
The opening work on the show is a self-portrait that Sabotsky made with the assistance of an optometrist. High-resolution images of his left and right retinas are placed side by side. Sabotsky says Retinal Shift extends this motive of looking while not seeing, exploring it through Grahamstown's history, a contemporary surveillance society. Photographic, video and installation works will complete the exhibition and present an entirely new body of work.
Singer Kamakwini is all set to launch her new album, which is appropriately titled The Rebirth, next Saturday at Arts on Main in Johannesburg. The singer will, through the album, introduce her fans and followers to her new sound, her new image, and her new producer.
In any religion or in any culture, we talk about rebirth. But Christians, they say born again or something. You know, I needed to go through the rebirthing process. To me, rebirth is a positive change. It is an enlightenment, you know, a change in thoughts, a change in heart, a change in mind, the way you do things, the way you talk to people, the words you use when you are talking. So I needed to go through the whole thing. So I needed to feel brand new and to come up with something that is not expected from Ukamakwini.
Have you always wanted to participate in the National Arts Festival Fringe program? Then this is for you. The NAF is accepting applications for Fringe productions wanting to participate in the 2013 edition of the festival. It starts on the 27th of June and ends on the 7th of July.
Fringe manager Nweba says artists who want to be part of the 2013 Fringe program have until the 18th of January to get their forms into them. The Fringe has mushroomed in size since its inception in 1979, when a diminutive 10 events comprised the Fringe. Nweba says it now consistently boasts over 400 events across all the arts genres. Disciplines include children's theatre, film, comedy, drama, physical theatre, dance, cabaret, visual art, performance, poetry, music theatre, and the full scope of music genres.
In 2010, author and photographer Gerald Garner released Spaces and Places, a guide to Joburg's hidden gems. The book documented some structures and spaces that weren't quite popular but had serious tourism hooks. Later this month, he'll launch Spaces and Places 2.0 because so much more has happened over the past 2 years.
By the beginning of this year, I realized that the first book would sell out, and the question was, do I just reprint or do I produce a new book? And once I looked at the content of the book and I've realized how much has happened in Johannesburg, especially in the inner city, in the last 2 years, I realized I had to do a new one because there's so much to add. I couldn't just update a few pages.
The Constitutional Court of South Africa was established in 1994 by the country's first constitution. Since then, it's been rightfully recognized as the place that upholds the Constitution, our rights, and our patriotic pride. The court, which is the highest in the country to focus on constitutional matters, is based on the Constitution Hill in Braamfontein in Johannesburg. The court structure is South Africa's first major post-apartheid government building, which was designed to embody the openness and transparency called for by the Constitution itself. It currently houses a few artistic elements like the main door to the court, a sculpture by the late great Dumile Feni, mosaics by Southern African artists, and much more. The Concord, as it's known, spent its first few years in rented accommodation, and then an international architectural competition was held in 1997 for the design of a new building, which resulted in what we see at the Constitution Hill, which also houses, amongst other structures, former native jails Section 4 and 5, which now operate as museums. From the Constitutional Court of South Africa, that's how we come to the end of this Art Bulletin. Between now and the next Art Bulletin, we'd like to hear from you. Forward your thoughts and suggestions to morninglive@sabc.co.za. You can also share them on our Facebook page, which is The Art Bulletin, and in brackets, Morning Live. That Twitter handle is @The Art Bulletin. Until next weekend, It's a goodbye from us.
Now it's that time of the program when we take a look at what some of the key art stories are with our very own Tumi Sedumedi.
We're coming to you from the Joburg Art Gallery, which is located inside the hustle and bustle of Johannesburg CBD. A warm welcome to the Art Bulletin. South Africa's premier film school AFTA's annual film festival is currently underway. Third-year students and honor students from their Cape Town, Durban and Johannesburg campuses will showcase their last projects before graduating.
The festival is a unique experience for the students to attract and experience an audience in a public cinema environment. And this year the festival has been taken online for the first time. This was an initiative by the school's Digital Innovation Laboratory and will allow viewers to interact with the films. Feature films that aren't available at the festival will also be included, including second-year, fourth-year documentaries and some of the first-year's films as well. The online film festival will run for a week after the Stay Clinical festivals in Rosebank, Cavendish and Durban's Gateway Cinema.
KZN's Department of Arts and Culture hosted a 3-day-long conference which came to an end yesterday. The Library, Archives, Museums and Language Service Conference saw 700 practitioners of the industry come together to put under the spotlight issues of improving services in those particular fields.
One of the objectives of this conference is to make sure that we streamline our activities. We have uniformity in terms of the services that we provide, but also we want to address the issue around provincializing the service of libraries and museums in the province.
The Social Landscapes project by the Market Photo Workshop takes place today at their base at the Bus Factory in Newtown. The project also includes an exhibition by 12 renowned photographers who include Tumi Sedumedi and Joe Ratcliffe. Today's Social Landscapes project program includes a schools program, a panel discussion on education and land, another panel discussion on gender, politics and land, and another one on art and land. There will be screenings at 7:45 in the evening, which is the last item on the program. An exhibition titled Show Us Our Land, which is on landscapes and how society relates to them, will be open at the Market Photo Workshop exhibition space. The exhibition will showcase the works of Zanele Moholi, Tumi Sedumedi, Peter Hugo, Joe Ratcliffe, Cedric Nunn, Tabiso Khala and 6 other photographers from France who are collaborators in the whole project. The event begins at 10 this morning at number 2 President Street. It's romantic, dramatic and musical. That's Afrikaans film Prattville, which is set in the 50s and went out on national circuit yesterday.
Prattville has been a lengthy process, mainly because the movie is set in the 50s. The producer Paul Kruger says they wrote and recorded their own music of that era in Afrikaans. This comic musical has been shot in Gauteng, where an original 1950s town has been especially built for this movie, and for the next 2 months the public has the opportunity to watch Prattville every day from that little town built for this movie, with hot dogs and milkshake to enjoy in cinema. However, the movie is also available on national cinemas.
Sibongile Khumalo, Zahara, Deep Fried Men and Kidiboni Mulaudzi. Those are just some of the names that will hit the stage at this year's Mzansi Fela Festival at the State Theatre. The 13-day-long festival, which will kick off on the 1st, will also have theatre productions on its lineup.
Actually, when Mzansi Fela started, music was dominant, and we had to really bring in other genres and other forms, and that is why you have all these other activities happening around it. I mean, this year we're having Zahara on the 1st, Sibongile Khumalo on the 7th, and again we are excited and honored to be having her here because she's celebrating 20 years in the industry. So it's really exciting to be presenting her. Palotones and Lira.
A long-distance artistic visual conversation between Austria's Walter Stach and South Africa's Marcus Nusset will take place tomorrow at Arts on Main in Johannesburg. Stach will also present some of his works at the Nirox exhibition space.
Over the last 3 years, we've been exchanging artworks between Johannesburg and Vienna. So in other words, I start drawing an artwork, or he starts drawing an artwork, and we send artworks between the two countries. So I receive an artwork that he started, I continue drawing, put it back in the post, send it back to him, he receives it, he continues drawing, and so the dialogue continues. So on one sheet, we would then be drawing multiple things that start to create a new image.
Visual artist Louis Olivier will be hosting his first solo Cape Town exhibition at the World Art Museum on Monday. The exhibition, titled Beginsel, consists of a series of paintings and sculptures by the now Joburg-based artist.
The pieces on display in Beginsel consist of a series of drawings and sculpture depicting studies of body positions and forms. The exhibition will try and deal with the emotional reflections of man, with tension between the restricted form and the power to break free. Olivier began his artistic career in 2001 and formed part of the Art Space mentorship program and was mentored by established artist Wilma Cruz.
Newtown's artist-run centre under Visual Arts Umbrella Assemblage and 3 of their partners are hosting the first ever Pimp Street Festival today. The day's festivities include a peer mentoring session, an arts exhibition and so much more. Here's Anthea Pokro with more.
In the last few months we've had a lot of creative organizations moving into this block, and we wanted to celebrate that. We wanted to showcase what all our activities are about, and also City Varsities taking part, they were here before any of us. The reason why we called it Pimp Street Festival, even though it might be a bit confusing, our poster has Guigu Marabi in brackets, but basically there used to be artist studios on Pimp Street, Old Pimp Street. Carfax, which is just next door, started off as artist studios.
From the Joburg Art Gallery in Joburg CBD, that's how we come to the end of today's Art Bulletin. We're back again tomorrow morning with more art news. In the meantime, do keep in touch with us and let us know what's happening in and around your art circles. Our email address is morninglive@sabc.co.za. Our Facebook page is The Art Bulletin, and in brackets, Morning Live. That Twitter handle is @The Art Bulletin. Until tomorrow morning, it's a goodbye from us.